Welcome to the deep dive. We're always trying to dig into interesting topics and pull out the really useful bits, the insights you can maybe use.
That's the goal. Cut through the noise a bit.
And today, we're going way back. I mean, really far back. Over 4,000 years, actually, to ancient Babylon.
Right, Babylon. The name itself just screams wealth, doesn't it? Gold, huge temples, hanging gardens, that sort of thing.
Exactly. But here's what's kind of mind-blowing. It wasn't naturally rich at all. It was built in this pretty arid valley by the Euphrates. No big forests nearby, no mines full of ore, not even much good stone for building.
Which makes its success even more astounding. It wasn't about resources, it was about the people. Their ingenuity, their hard work, and crucially, their wisdom. They literally built their wealth out of almost nothing.
That's it.
Yeah.
And a huge part of that was their financial savvy. It wasn't just about grand engineering projects.
Absolutely, and that's what we're diving into today. These timeless financial ideas that came out of Babylon, we're looking mainly at the 7 cures for a lean purse, and also touching on the 5 laws of gold, things you find in that classic book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason.
Right, the Clason book.
And the amazing thing is, these ideas aren't just, historical curiosities. They are shockingly relevant, like a practical guide to getting your financial life in order, even now.
That's exactly what we want to do for you listening. To pull out those core ideas, make them clear, maybe offer a few surprising angles, but keep it focused. No overload.
Yeah, just the essentials, whether you're trying to get ahead, understand wealth better, or you're just curious about ideas that have lasted for millennia.
So let's get into it. Let's unpack this ancient wisdom. Where do we start? Arkad, right, the richest man in Babylon himself.
Yes, Arkad. He's the one credited with laying out these 7 cures, and the very first one is, well, it's the bedrock. Start thy purse to fattening.
Start thy purse to fattening. Okay, what's the core message there? A part of all you earn is yours to keep. Sounds simple. Almost too simple.
It does sound simple, but think about the mindset shift. Arkad noticed most people get paid, and immediately that money belongs to everyone else. The landlord, the market stall owner, you name it. By the end, there's nothing left for the person who earned it.
That sounds familiar.
This first cure flips that script. It says, before you pay anyone else, you pay yourself. You allocate a slice of your earnings to you. It's not just saving leftovers, it's claiming ownership first. It's about building your wealth, not just servicing your expenses or, as he put it, slaving for others. That first bit you keep, that's the seed for your own tree of wealth.
Okay, I see the power in that framing. So how do we actually do that, practically speaking?
It's straightforward, but it takes discipline. As soon as money hits your hand, or your account nowadays, you take a portion off the top. The suggestion is at least a tenth, 10%.
A tenth, okay.
And you put it away immediately, into savings, into investments, somewhere separate. The key is making it automatic, like a transfer you set up. So you don't even really think of it as money you can spend. It's already working for your future self.
Got it. Non-negotiable. First tenth is yours. Okay, so you've done that. Your purse is starting to feel a little heavier. But then comes the temptation to spend the rest, right? Which leads to the second cure. Control thy expenditures.
Exactly. And this taps into a deep human truth Arkad nailed ages ago. What each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless we protest to the contrary.
Yeah, that rings true. Lifestyle creep, we call it now.
Precisely. It's not just about having a budget, it's recognizing that our desires are basically limitless. If you don't actively manage your spending, it will just expand to eat up everything you earned. Doesn't matter if you get a raise, the spending just follows suit unless you consciously stop it.
So why is grabbing control here so vital? It seems obvious, maybe, but why did Arkad stress it?
Because without that control, the first cure becomes almost pointless. You save your 10th, but then blow the other 9/10 on things you don't truly need, these casual wishes he talks about. Your purse might start fattening, but it'll quickly leak if you don't manage the outflow. A budget, he said, is like a light in a dark cave. It shows you where the money is really going, where the leaks are.
A light in a dark cave. I like that. Okay, so how did they suggest doing this back then? What's the Babylonian budgeting method?
Again, surprisingly practical. Make a list. Write down everything you intend to spend money on. Then you have to be honest, brutally honest sometimes. Mark what's truly necessary. Food, shelter, the real basics.
The needs versus the wants.
Exactly. Make sure those necessities fit within the 9/10 left after you've paid yourself. Then, the tough part. Look at the other desires, the non-essentials, and start crossing them out. You have to defend that growing purse. And it's not a one-time thing. You review it, adjust it. It's an ongoing process of conscious choice.
Makes sense. Pay yourself first, then consciously control the rest. Okay, so now we're saving. We're controlling spending, our purse is fattening. But just having gold coins sitting there, that's not the end game, is it? Cure 3. Make thy gold multiply.
Precisely. Saving is just step one, maybe step two after controlling spending. But true wealth comes when your money starts working for you. When it starts making more money, Arcad's words, gold in a purse is gratifying, but it does not multiply. Gold in use will earn more than gold. Your money needs a job.
Why is this multiplication step so critical for building real long-term wealth?
Because idle money doesn't grow much, if at all. In fact, with inflation, it often loses value over time. Investing, putting that gold to labor, unleashes compounding. That's the magic. Your initial money earns something, and then those earnings also start earning. It snowballs.
The snowball effect, yeah.
Like his example, 10 silver pieces growing to 167 over 50 years. That's not just simple interest. That's growth building on growth. It ties directly into the second law of gold. Find profitable employment for your money, and it will work diligently for you.
So how do we apply that today? What does put your saved coins to laboring look like?
It means actively seeking ways for your capital to generate returns. Back then, Arcad learned by lending to reliable people like Agar the shield maker, who could use the capital to grow their business and pay him back with interest. Today, it means investing stocks, bonds, real estate, starting a business, finding avenues where your money isn't just sitting, but actively generating more.
Okay, so your money is working, it's multiplying. But growth often attracts risk, doesn't it? Which brings us neatly to the fourth cure. Guard thy treasures from loss.
Yes, a very important one. The core idea here is simple but crucial. The first sound principle of investment is security for thy principal. Protect what you have first before chasing huge gains.
Priority 1 is don't lose the money you've already worked hard to save and grow.
Exactly. This lines up perfectly with the third and fourth laws of gold, which basically warn against foolish risks and investing in things you don't understand.
Why is this caution so heavily emphasized? It feels like common sense, but people still fall for scams or risky ventures.
Because, as the saying goes, misfortune loves a shining mark. When you start accumulating wealth, you become a target both for outright scams and for tempting high-risk schemes promising quick riches. Arcad himself got burned early on. He gave his savings to a brickmaker to buy rare jewels, which turned out to be worthless glass. Total loss.
Ouch, a hard lesson.
A very hard lesson. His son, Nomasir, also lost money on horse racing and a bad partnership. The wisdom here is timeless. Quick, easy money often disappears just as quickly. Protecting your principal means avoiding unnecessary danger. It's about understanding risk.
So how do we put this into practice? How do we guard our treasures effectively today?
Be skeptical. Deeply skeptical of anything promising unusually high or guaranteed returns, usurious rates, as they called them. If it sounds too good to be true, it almost certainly is. And crucially, seek advice from people who actually know what they're doing, people experienced in handling money for profit.
Do your homework, basically.
Do your homework. The fourth law says gold slips away if you invest in things you're not familiar with or without guidance from experts. Understand the investment. Understand the risks. Remember Arcad's other saying, better a little caution than a great regret.
Wise words. Okay, let's move to cure number 5. Make of thy dwelling a profitable investment. This touches on home ownership, which is a big topic today, too.
It is, and the Babylonian view was pretty clear. Owning your own home is a key part of financial stability and, importantly, personal well-being. They saw it as a very sound, profitable investment.
Why do they see it that way? Some people argue renting is better for flexibility now.
Their perspective was that renting means constantly paying someone else, an exacting landlord, often for subpar conditions, and you end up with nothing to show for it long term. Owning, on the other hand, gives you a secure base for your family, a sense of pride, confidence, and it's a tangible asset, an asset that can grow in value while providing shelter. You build equity.
Right, you're paying towards something you own, not just covering someone else's mortgage.
Precisely.
Right.
And they suggested it was achievable. Even back then, you could often get loans for homes if you showed you could make a down payment and had steady earnings. You'd pay the lender regularly, just like you paid the landlord, but now those payments are building your asset, your wealth.
Okay, that makes sense from their perspective. Now, Cure 6 looks further ahead. Ensure a future income. Planning for the long term.
Yes, this is about foresight, preparing for old age when earning income might become difficult or undesirable. And also, crucially, about protecting your family if something happens to you unexpectedly. This links directly to the first law of gold, building an estate for your future and your family's future.
Why is looking so far ahead considered so fundamental? It's easy to focus on the here and now.
Because life is unpredictable, and time eventually catches up with everyone. Without planning, old age could mean poverty, a lean purse, or unexpected events could leave dependents in a terrible situation, a sore tragedy. Preparing early, especially using that power of compounding we talked about, builds a safety net. It buys peace of mind for the future, prevents that late life scramble.
So how did they advise securing that future income? What were the methods?
Diversification, essentially. Acquiring assets that tend to grow in value over time, like houses or productive land. Or making steady, regular contributions to reliable places that offer returns, like Ansan the sandal maker, who built a significant sum from small weekly deposits. Arcade even foresaw something like modern life insurance, calling it a future blessing for protecting families.
Interesting foresight. Okay, that brings us to the final cure, number 7. Increase thy ability to earn. This one feels different, more personal.
It is very personal and very empowering. The core idea is that your ability to earn isn't fixed. You should always be working to improve yourself, to learn more, to become more skilled, wiser in your chosen field or craft. Your earning power is your greatest financial tool.
So it's not just about managing the money you have, but about increasing the flow into your purse.
Exactly. Saving and investing are vital, absolutely. But if you can increase your income, you create a bigger stream of gold to work with in the first place. It dramatically expands your capacity to save, invest, and achieve all the other goals. You're not just slicing the pie better, you're making the whole pie bigger.
Why is this self-investment so critical compared to just focusing on the money itself?
Because your skills, your knowledge, your reputation, these are assets that can't be easily taken away and often grow with time and effort. A fixed mindset about what you can earn really limits your potential.
How do we apply this? What's the practical advice?
Invest in yourself. Be diligent. Focus. Persist in mastering your work, like Arcade becoming a faster scribe. Aim to be at the forefront, always learning, always improving, not to stand still. And it wasn't just about job skills. It included living honorably, paying debts, caring for your family, being fair. These build self-respect and confidence, which in turn boost your capacity to succeed and earn.
That's a powerful set of 7 cures. But underlying all of this, there seems to be another big idea in the Babylonian texts, right? About luck.
Yes, definitely. It's this idea that good luck isn't really random chance. It's, as they put it, the result of preparation meeting opportunity. Or another great line, men of action are favored by the goddess of good luck.
So luck isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you cultivate through action.
Precisely. Many people blame lack of success on bad luck or lack of talent, using it as an excuse for inaction. But the Babylonians saw procrastination as the real thief of opportunity. They tell a story about a merchant who hesitated on buying some valuable land and missed out. Preparation and decisiveness attract opportunities.
So when a good chance appears, and you've done your homework,
You act. Step quick, is the advice. Don't delay unnecessarily. Think about Davasir, the camel trader. He was deep in debt, even enslaved for a time. But he didn't wait for luck. He took decisive action, made a plan, worked incredibly hard to pay his debts. He showed that where the determination is, the way can be found. Taking action builds self-respect and opens doors.
it's amazing how practical and, well, human all this feels, despite being thousands of years old.
It really is.
So wrapping this up, it feels like the big takeaway from Babylon isn't some secret formula. It's about consistency, discipline, and applying these pretty straightforward principles day in, day out.
Absolutely. These ideas aren't complex, but they do require effort and commitment. And history shows they work. Countless people through the ages have used these very principles to build financial security and success. The wisdom endures. It really is a sure key to a fat purse and gratifying financial progress if you put it into practice.
You mentioned Alfred Shrewsbury using Davosir's plan.
Yeah, a more modern example cited in relation to Clausen's book, Someone Buried in Debt, called it Hell on Earth, who used that same ancient Babylonian plan of action and determination to climb out. It just proves the timelessness of these actions.
It really does. Which leaves us with maybe one final thought from that era, a powerful one. Wealth grows wherever men exert energy. So thinking about everything we discussed, the question for you listening is, what energy will you exert now? What opportunities prepared by this ancient wisdom will you now seize?